Welcome, I'm Adina Wanja, and I guide high achieving men and women create extraordinary lives and loving, ecstatic relationships. The intention of this podcast is to empower both men and women when it comes to life, dating, relationships, and intimacy. I believe that by both men and women being healthy, powerful, and loving, we can be in thriving romantic partnerships and create a better world together. If this is something you resonate with, then please keep listening. In this episode, I am talking about the most important qualities you need to look for in a long term romantic partner as a high achieving man or woman. If you are currently dating, you may already have a list of traits you are looking for in a long term partner. However, the problem I see in many people is that they are focused more on the physical traits than on the character ones. If you are in your 30s or 40s, you may be very well aware that our bodies go through various changes as we age and that while we can do our best to look good and stay healthy, some changes in the body and in the face are unavoidable. So, physical traits are not the most important thing to look for. This doesn't mean you should enter a relationship with a person you don't feel attracted to. Of course, you need to feel attracted to them. However, physical attraction is quite easy to become aware of, while evaluating and figuring out a person's character is more challenging and is what actually will make or break the relationship. Because what will affect your life in a positive or negative way is the quality of your interaction, how they behave with you, how they take care of you and love you, how good your life will be with them by your side. And of course, that you will also affect their life. So you need to have these qualities in yourself too. So let's go deeper and talk about the 7 qualities that make or break a romantic relationship, which you should also develop in yourself and also look for in a romantic partner. Quality number 1, emotional fitness and mental strength. Emotional fitness and mental strength go hand in hand because our emotions come from our thoughts. And when we are able to change our thoughts, we can change our emotions. Think of emotions like our inner weather. Sometimes it's cold and rainy inside, and this doesn't mean that there's something wrong with us. It just means that we need to become aware of our inner weather and assess what caused it. Feel it the same way we would feel the rain touching our face when we don't have an umbrella. And then identify what we can do to create a more pleasant inner climate. Having emotional fitness and mental strength ultimately means how fast we can bounce back from unpleasant emotions and feelings such as sadness, fear, self pity, anger, anxiousness, and etc., to more pleasant emotions and feelings such as peace, joy, pleasure, fulfillment, determination, courage, etc. These 2 skills of emotional fitness and mental strength are the foundation to a happy and successful life for any person on this planet. Emotional fitness and mental strength include self awareness, empathy, mindfulness, curiosity, play, resilience, and communication. Now I'm going to define them and say a few things you can pay attention to when you are dating in order to identify if the other person has emotional fitness and mental strength. However, Be aware that the same way you may not score high in all these 7 skills, the other person may not score high in all of them either. We are not looking for perfection, we are looking for good enough. Remember, you will grow with this person. These skills can and will improve. What you need to assess in dating is if this person has a functional level in most of them. For example, someone may have a very good level of self-awareness, curiosity, play, and communication, but they may have a lower level of empathy, resilience, and mindfulness. However, this doesn't mean that they completely lack these skills. It just means that in these areas, they could improve. What you want to avoid are people who lack most of these 7 skills or score very low in most of them, because these people won't make good partners. Skill number 1, self-awareness, is the ability to be conscious of your feelings, thoughts, and actions, and understand your emotional triggers and biases. On dates, pay attention if this person is aware of how certain things make them think and feel, and why they take certain actions in their life. For example, self-awareness may sound something like, I think I am upset because I like going to the beach because the water calms me down. I like playing tennis because it makes me happy. I chose this job because I was naturally good at it. Skill number 2, empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand the emotions, needs, and perspectives of others. It's basically being able to feel what the other person feels, and it's a key skill for building relationships. If someone lacks empathy, the relationship will be very challenging, to say the least. So during dating, notice how this person reacts when you don't feel well, when you share an essential need you have or a perspective on something important to you. They may not feel or think the same way you do, but can they respect that that is how you feel or think? Or do they shut you down? Skill number 3, mindfulness. Mindfulness is being aware of one's internal states and having the capacity to behave in a way that is congruent with the external surroundings, irrespective of the internal state. For example, let's say you are going to a party with this person and something happens that upsets them. Can this person still behave respectfully, or do they make a scene? A man once told me that he took one of his exes to a dinner party to meet his future boss, and that she behaved disrespectfully towards some of the people present there. This shows that this woman wasn't mindful. You can see if a person is mindful if they have self-control in a stressful situation, or by them having changed a harmful habit they had. So listen to this person and notice if they are sharing about having consciously changed a bad habit, or observe how they behave in new or unpleasant situations. Skill number 4, curiosity. Curiosity is the ability to pursue growth over defensiveness. It helps us understand and tolerate the difference between what we want to be true and what is true in reality. Notice if this person is curious to understand you and your ideas, and if they make an effort to get to know you better. Also, are they open to having new experiences and expanding their horizons? Another thing to observe is how they behave during conflict. Can they listen to what you have to say, or do they shut you down? Do they want to understand your perspective, even though they may not agree with it? Or is it their way or the highway? Skill number 5, play. Play is the ability to engage in activity for enjoyment and recreation rather than a serious or practical purpose. Also, play fosters a safe space of connection and creativity. Notice, can this person be spontaneous, creative, and fun? Can you two laugh together and feel like two playful children sometimes? Skill number 6, resilience. Resilience is the ability to persevere and bounce back from failure and setbacks. This trait helps us understand that there is more to be learned from failure than from success, and helps us to be flexible and adaptive in the face of challenges. We all know that life is not always easy, and every person on this planet will have challenges and hardships. Notice how this person deals with challenges. Can they work through hardships? Or they can't handle them and they either shut down, run away, or give in to an addiction. Skill number 7, communication. Communication is the ability to put your needs, boundaries, and expectations into words. And good communication is crucial to maintaining healthy relationships and personal well-being. Notice if this person can clearly communicate their needs, boundaries, and expectations. Also, don't be scared to tell them what you need and don't tolerate in a relationship. How is the other person supposed to know this if you don't communicate them? People aren't mind readers. So if you want someone to communicate more honestly, be honest and direct first. As I said earlier, the goal is not to find someone who scores 10 out of 10 in all of these, but someone who has a functional level in all of them. Because someone who doesn't will not make a good long-term partner. I went into more depth in the first quality of emotional fitness and mental strength because it's extremely important. So pay attention on dates which of the 7 skills of self-awareness, empathy, mindfulness, curiosity, play, resilience, and communication the other person has by listening to what they share about themselves, observing their actions and behaviors, and listening to your intuition. Now let's move to the second quality to look for in a long-term partner. Having purpose and goals in life. What does this person want to do with their life? What are they moving towards and why? What do they want their legacy to be? And when I say legacy, I'm not thinking only at material things. I'm also thinking of family, impact in the world, innovations, and things they create to improve other people's lives, etc. You can't give anyone purpose. Finding one's reason of being alive is an inner job, as it is also with being happy. Yes, you can be happier and more fulfilled with a good partner, but you need to become happy and fulfilled by yourself first. A good partner can only add to your life, but they can't do all the work for you. So pay attention to how the person you are dating is using their time, energy, and money, because these will show what their purpose and goals are. Not what they say, but what they actually do. And for the ladies, please don't get fooled by a man who shows potential but doesn't do much. Talking and taking action are two very different things. If he is not taking action, he won't achieve those things he's talking about. So don't choose a man who talks more than he does. Choose a man who does more than he talks. Another thing to pay attention to is if your long term goals are aligned. For example, the person you are dating may want a family. Is this something you also want? Or maybe they want to travel the world. Is this something you also desire? Or maybe they want to live in a small village surrounded by nature. Is this how you also want to live, or do you prefer a busy city? No matter how much you like a person, if your most important goals aren't aligned, it will be impossible to have a good long term relationship because you are simply not compatible. And something else to pay attention to is if this person can support you in living your purpose and achieving your goals. For example, let's say that a woman realizes that one of her purposes is to be a mother for four children. Can you support her in doing this? Can you, as the man, provide for her and for the children so she can focus on making and taking care of them? Or let's say that a man realizes that one of his purposes is to build branches of his business in various countries. Can you, as his partner, support him in achieving this? Will you be okay with him traveling often and not being with you and the kids? You really need to consider these things before committing to a person because, yes, you may like them and be attracted to them, but if you can't support one another in living your purpose and achieving your goals, your relationship will have many turbulences and most likely it won't last. The third quality to look for in a long term romantic partner is desire to grow and evolve. From your previous relationships and interactions with various people, would you say that it's easier for you to deal with someone who is open to learning new things and becoming better? Or with someone who wants to stay the same and can't accept new ideas? From my experience, I cannot be in any type of relationship with people who don't want to grow, learn new things and better ways of living life, and who don't want to become better people. If you're listening to this, it may also be the case with you. Because if you value growth and expansion, it will be very difficult for you to maintain a 10, 20, or 30 years romantic relationship with someone who is stuck in their old ways, makes no effort to improve and to become a better partner and human being. Be aware because these people will hold you back from you achieving your dreams. So, pay attention to what this person is currently doing to learn new things and create a better life for themselves. Someone who values growth will be more likely to work on a conflict or a misunderstanding so you find resolution. They will be more likely to admit when they are wrong and accept that the solution you're presenting is the best for that situation. They will be more likely to take responsibility for their own flaws. And we all have flaws. They will be more likely to work on stopping a bad behavior that they have towards themselves or towards you. And every human being has at least one bad behavior. They will be more likely to be understanding and supportive when, as a couple, you'll be going through rough times. And every couple has rough times. They will be more likely to work on themselves to make the relationship better and more stable. They will be more likely to stay with you through hardships because they know that evolution and change require sacrifices. The fifth quality to look in a long term romantic partner is represented by two qualities: compassion and kindness. No matter how good looking or achieved someone is, if they are not also kind, you are signing up for misery. Being kind doesn't mean being stupid or doing everything what the other person wants. What it means is being respectful, caring, compassionate, and considerate towards others without expecting praise or reward in return. Being kind is different from being nice because when someone is nice, they do expect something in return. It's a I give to get attitude. While when you are kind, you give selflessly something that you are okay with giving and you don't expect anything in return. You give to give. This doesn't mean that you shouldn't get anything back because every relationship is a flow between giving and receiving. It just means you're not expecting to get a certain thing when you give something to someone. During dating, you can observe how this person acts with you and with other people. Can they give you something? And I'm not only referring to material things here, without expecting you to give them something back. For example, can a man pay for the lunch or the dinner without expecting anything from you? Can a woman surprise you with something she cooked or a book you said you wanted to read without expecting you to do something in return for her? Also, observe how this person treats other people, their friends, and their family. How are their relationships with the closest people in their life? Moreover, notice if this person is compassionate. Compassion literally means to suffer together. It is the feeling that arises when you are confronted with another person's suffering and feel motivated to relieve that suffering. During dating, notice if this person is willing to help you with something that causes you pain or is doing something to relieve the pain of another person or being. When someone is willing to help another being, an animal, or a plant, this shows that this person has compassion. Quality number 5 to look for in a long-term partner: optimism, positive attitude on life, and resourcefulness. Optimism is defined as being hopeful and confident about the future or the success of something. Having a positive attitude on life doesn't mean putting your head in the ground and not seeing the reality for what it is. It just means that you are aware of the glass half empty and you choose to focus on the glass half full. Resourcefulness means having the ability to find quick and clever ways to overcome difficulties. I think you are aware that life isn't always easy and that as long as you are alive, you will have challenges. And I think you can agree that having a positive attitude towards the future and being inventive helps you get out faster from life's hurdles. Choosing a partner who is optimistic and capable ensures that you'll have more peace, joy, and success, even if life throws you a curveball sometimes. To discover if a person has a good attitude on life, has ingenuity, and skills to overcome challenging situations, ask them something similar to: what has been the most difficult experience you've had and how did you overcome it? What has been the hardest thing you've done so far? What's something you're proud of having overcome or achieving? These questions will reveal how this person deals with difficult situations, and you will have challenges in your life as a couple. The sixth quality in looking for in a long-term romantic partner is having financial literacy, meaning making, having, spending, and investing money. Money is one of the main sources of conflict and divorce. If you and your partner don't have a similar or a compatible mindset when it comes to making, spending, holding, and investing money, you are going to have a lot of conflicts in your marriage. And in any relationship, there will be one person who will make more money than the other person and one person who will spend more than the other person. And this is okay. You do not need to behave exactly the same. However, you do need to be in agreement when it comes to your expenses as a couple or as a family. So during the dating period, pay attention to how this person makes money and if their way of making a living is in agreement with your life values. For example, drug dealers make money, but do you want to be married to one? Another thing to pay attention to is how they spend their money. And here, pay attention to any addiction this person may have. And yes, we all have certain things or experiences we love and we like spending on. But does this person spend a lot of money on something that is self destructive or makes their life harder? That is not okay. Another thing to pay attention to is how they keep their money. And can this person keep some money or do they spend everything they make? Also, how does this person invest their money? Is their money invested in ways that sooner or later will make more money? What you want to avoid is committing to someone who doesn't make any money, who spends all their money, who has addictions, and who has no plan on how to make more money. Because that person will drag you down. And I believe that women should pay more attention to these things when looking for a husband. Because even though you make good money, if the man you choose isn't focused on making and having money, you will become miserable and the relationship might become abusive. A man who doesn't have stable finances is not ready for commitment. I'm going to say this again because I want you to hear me. A man who doesn't have stable finances is not ready for commitment. Being able to provide for his wife and children, even though the woman may have her own money, is one of the traits that separates young males from men. So, ladies, stop choosing men who can't hold a job, spend all their money, and aren't doing anything to make more money. You will not be happy with them. And gentlemen, although you may not care that much how much money a woman makes, it's important for her to have the capacity to make money for herself. There are plenty of men out there who got divorced and had to pay alimony for many years because that woman had no skills to provide for herself or because she refused to work. Although I encourage you to create a feminine masculine dynamic in your relationship by providing for your wife, I do not encourage you to commit to gold diggers. I believe that every adult should be able to make their own money because if they can't, they are not adults, they are children. And the seventh quality to look for in a long term romantic partner is erotic skills. Now, everyone has physical intimacy, but not everyone has heartful, loving, and fulfilling physical intimacy. Although while you are dating, I do not recommend being intimate with anyone. You can assess if a person would make a decent lover by observing the following. As a woman, you can observe how confident a man is and how good he feels about himself in general, how interested he is in making you happier. Usually, a man who does things that make you happier will also want to satisfy you in the bedroom. Notice if he's too fast to be intimate with you. For example, is he trying to touch you all the time while he's dating you and he wants physical intimacy fast? Because if he does this, he may not be such a good lover for you because he's more interested in satisfying his own needs. Not to say that a man shouldn't be at all interested in you because that can show other problems. But pay attention if he has self control when it comes to his sexual energy. And also, is he flirting or looking at other women while he's in her presence, which is a major red flag. Also, another thing to observe is if he's consuming lots of erotic materials online. While men watch more porn than women, if he is watching it too often, for example, daily or every other day, then he already has or will develop low self esteem, erectile dysfunction, and premature ejaculation. As a man, you can observe how good a woman feels in her body, how she dresses, if she flirts with other men while she's in your presence, which is a huge red flag, if she enjoys your presence, if she smiles and laughs. It's very hard to satisfy a woman who is upset and serious all the time. If she can be sensual in her movement and presence, how she has dealt with her emotional wounds from her previous relationships. If she is still resentful to her exes, do not expect her to be a very passionate and loving partner to you. If she's had sexual trauma in her life and how she has dealt with it. Unfortunately, many little girls are sexually abused, and this impacts their life as an adult. While no one can change their past, we can change our present and future. Anyone who's had any type of trauma can do inner work to heal it. I believe that women and men in their 30s, 40s, and older who've had relationship in the past and who want to create a passionate and fulfilling long-term relationship or marriage need to have two things when it comes to erotic mastery. And these two things are sexual self-control, meaning the capacity to contain their sexual energy and not throw it around by sleeping with other people, and sexual mastery, meaning the capacity to pleasure themselves and someone else. And I believe these are two skills that need to be had before committing to someone else. Why? Because it's much safer and more fun to be intimate with a man or a woman who you know won't cheat on you and who can also be a great lover to you. I mean, isn't this what most of us want? And yes, as a couple, you should work together on consciously satisfying your sexual needs and desires by also taking into consideration each of your boundaries. Because just because your partner desires something in the bedroom, it doesn't mean that you have to give them that if that thing would be abusive or harmful for you. Choosing a romantic partner is one of the most important decisions you'll make in your life. You are choosing the person you will wake up every morning with, the person you will have physical intimacy with and maybe kids with, the person you will spend your holidays with, the person who has the legal right to decide your life in case of a brain injury, the person who you will share your money and body with, the person you will grow old with. Do your best to make this decision consciously. And if you want to create the best relationship for yourself and you resonate with me, I am inviting you in my one-to-one coaching container where I will support you to become the best partner and lover and to choose the best partner for you. You can find the details by following the links in the description box below. Thank you for listening to this episode, and if you found it helpful, please share it with one or more friends. If you're listening to it on YouTube, please like the video, it helps me a lot with the algorithm, and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate your time and energy, and I hope to meet you again in my next episode. Until then, keep evolving, loving, and creating. Bye!